Alright guys, I have a battle here today with Jesus is Rippin'. This is an underused battle. I was looking for an underused battle on Amber's Asylum, and he accepted the challenge, so let's go. Anyway, he leaves with an Ambipom, I lead with a Moltres, and I know he's going to fake out. I mean, that's the obvious play, but I decided to leave my Moltres in, and now I'm going to go for the Air Slash, and this is my Specs lead Moltres, and he goes into a Claydol, which is pretty specially bulky, and the reason I didn't go for the Fire move is because I thought it would be kind of obvious. I kind of wanted to go offbeat. And Air Slash is still a stab, pretty powerful move, and it's going to be a 3-hit KO on Claydol. He ends up toxicing my Moltres, and that's not really a big deal, I don't think, because I'm Specs. So yeah, I finish off his Claydol with Specs, Air Slash, and that's a pretty good move. So he goes out into Houndoom, and Houndoom is going to Hidden Power me. But I go into my special wall, Clefable, and he goes for the Hidden Power. He said it was electric, so that would have been bad for my Moltres. So I go Thunder Wave on the switch. I figure even if I get the Thunder Wave on Houndoom, it'll be pretty nice, and I don't know if Houndoom can do much to my Clefable. So he goes out into Swellow, and I get the Paralyze off on that, and that's really awesome. So I go into Rhyperior, and now I'm going to Rock Polish because that's going to make my speed ridiculous, and he goes out into a Miltank. And this thing is physically bulky, but I decided to go for the Earthquake anyway since, you know, I have the Life Orb, and unfortunately it looks to be a 3-hit KO, so that's not so good. And he goes for the Body Slam, I guess the Parahax, which really hurts my Rhyperior because now I can't outspeed anything. So he goes out into Pinsir, and I go for another Earthquake. Pinsir does resist Earthquake, but still should be decent damage since Pinsir is kind of weak, so it does about half. That's not so bad. And now he goes Close Combat, and I was thinking I might be able to live this because of Solid Rock, but his Pinsir is actually Banded, not Scarf, so that's a lot of power behind that Close Combat, and that's going to take down my Rhyperior, so that's sad. Anyway, I got on my own Claydol, and I'm going to set up Rocks because I need Rock set up, and yeah, he has the... yeah. I have Rock set up now. That's cool. So he goes to the Hill Bell basically to heal Swellow, and that's a pretty good move because a Paralyzed Swellow is a piece of crap. And I go for the Earth Power. That's going to not do a lot of damage to Miltank. I thought it would do more because Miltank is more physically bulky, but I guess not. So I go on to Hitmonlee. He sets up the Rocks, and that's bad for my Moltres, obviously, because Moltres is X4 weak to Rocks. And I'm just going to go for the Close Combat. I expected him to switch, but he leaves in his Miltank as Death Fodder, and that helps me take it out, so that's nice. So now he goes out back into his Ambipom, and I really don't want to take a fake out on my Hitmonlee, so I go out into Claydol. I do this because I do also want to Rapid Spin on my Claydol, because obviously I don't want these Rocks to be on my team because I have the Moltres that I would like to send back in at some point. So yeah, he's actually a Last Resort Ambipom, which is actually really deadly. With only 2 moves, he can use Last Resort the second turn after a fake out, and Last Resort will do a ton of damage to anything that doesn't resist normal. A 2-hit KOs my Claydol, and I go back into Hitmonlee, hoping that I can kill him with Mach Punch, which is another priority move, and is super effective, and I do, which is awesome. So thank you, Hitmonlee, you saved me a lot of trouble. So he goes out into Swellow, and Swellow is no longer paralyzed, but I do have the Sucker Punch, so I decided to go for it. It's a little more powerful than Mach Punch, actually. And, yeah, he ends up going for the Brave Bird. I don't quite kill him with Sucker Punch, which sucks for me, but he does get off the Brave Bird. That'll take down my Hitmonlee, and will also take down the Swellow, so that's not so bad for me. And I go out to Moltres. He goes out into Houndoom. I already know this thing is a Scarf Houndoom, and I know he tried to lock himself into Hidden Power Electric. Obviously, I don't want that to happen. I go out into Clefable as he goes Dark Pulse, and he ends up getting a crit, which kind of sucks, but not really. I go for the Thunder Wave thinking I can live another one, and I know that either way, if he switches or not, a Thunder Wave is good, and I can Soft Boil next turn. But he ends up going out into Pinsir, and I'm actually looking at its hit points, and I'm thinking that I can kill it with a Seismic Toss, so I decide just to do that. And it turns out to be a pretty good play, because I do kill it with Seismic Toss. He goes for the Quick Attack and doesn't quite finish me. His last Pokemon is Houndoom, and I do have a perfect counter to this Houndoom left in my team, and that is the cutest little Pokemon you ever did see, Politoed, because, yeah, Houndoom's not doing anything to Politoed, and Politoed is going to surf that Houndoom. So anyway, check out Jesus is Rippin'. He's a awesome YouTuber. I actually checked out his channel after battling him, and he has, like, these hilarious narrations, so check him out. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, today's question of the day is, what is your favorite Pokemon chat on the internet? And mine is Abra's Asylum, because I think Abra's Asylum is a good Pokemon chat. In fact, that's where I found this guy, Jesus is Rippin'. There's a lot of other good ones, like the Cerebi chat room, I guess, and Equinox, but leave a comment about where you chat Pokemons. Alright, bye.